Okay, when I just looked over there, it was 1:51. So I'm just, I don't know. I have all these like little things that keep going through my head and going through my head. But it's always just like sometimes, like you'll be thinking of all these things. It's like, I don't even know how they all go together. It just is all this stuff keeps popping in my head. And then anything, I've just got so, I swear the energy is just super, super intense. It's super active. And like, I only slept 5 hours. That, I think I went to sleep. Because when I got up, it was like 12:36. In the first time I got up, I had fallen asleep on the couch. I put on my tunes, and then I, go into my relaxation, and then I'm out in like 2 seconds. And then I woke up and I was totally out of it, and I'd only been asleep an hour. I was like, maybe a little bit longer because I think it was like 9:36, and I would say it was probably more like, I don't know, somewhere between 7:30 and 8 when I laid down there. And so then I went into bed and I was in there, but then I woke up and I just kept being uncomfortable. Plus, I can hear stuff. God, it's weird. Like, it's like really noisy. And, and I don't know, like when my crown chakra opened, it definitely, things got way noisier. It just seemed like the top of my head was open. It didn't, and I'm used to talking to all them, so I don't know what it's like for everybody else. All I know is it just seems way more open. And so so I don't know when it's just really intense and active, if that affects my sleep, or if it's just because I'm letting go of my avatar. I don't know what's going on. I also this mushroom tea thing. Like, I gotta talk about this. So I did go yesterday into town, and man, I'm telling you, I'm like, there's something real in sync in my life. Like, all this shit is going crazy, but I feel like mine is totally, like, I don't know how to explain it, because it is, and they keep showing me, and it's crazy. Like, they keep showing me how much they're like right there for me. Look, like, it's crazy. And they always do at thrift stores, always show me. But so I was gonna go down and get some of that matcha, and then I was like, oh fuck, I've only got is this Apple Pay because my card, I had the whole ordeal with my card, and I gotta wait for this other card to come. And so I was like, but all I have is Apple Pay, because so it kind of limited me. So I was like, I wonder if they take so anyways, I was trying to figure out like what I was going to do. And so I was like, I was going to go do this big round drive thing, it's like fucking 60 miles altogether to go do all these, get all your stuff. And so I was, I bet you it's more than 60. It takes a couple hours to go to do it, like to go to the grocery store and stuff. And another thing too, with my, the dryer, it won't heat up. And I've tried shaking the vent, but my vent's funky. When they came out and did this whole big inspection to put this thing in my, my wood stove, they told me that my venting was weird on the dryer. And then I think a repairman came out before for another time, but he won't come anymore. I had him come out a couple times, but he was intense, man. Like, he would make me wear this to be in my house to fix my thing. And he would wear one too. He was so paranoid. He was so scared. And it's like, fuck, dude, this is not going to help you. And the paranoia is only going to make you more likely to get sick, because it's going to activate like your stress hormones. So it's way better to calm your ass down. Like, when has a fucking sickness killed anybody but an old sick person? Like, take care of yourself. And but then he also was like, he was so paranoid he was going to take my germs home. It's like, fucking dude, I live alone. I don't even go anywhere. And because he had like a sick child, or, you know, these people who are all, because that start going around all the time, was immunodeficient or immunosuppressed and all that. It's all, you know, well, you got to go get these. We got to help these people. Like, they're suppressed. I mean, I was like, fuck off. You guys are the ones doing it. You take the motherfucking, let's test it on you, bitches. So so anyways, okay. Now it's like fucking popcorn's going. Okay, so everything, it seemed like it was just going super, super, like, fucking in sync. And I went out to take Stella for a walk, and then I decided, well, if I leave at this time, I'll stop at the thrift store. But the thrift store wouldn't be open if I left at the wrong time. So I was like, so if I leave at this time, I'll go ahead and stop. And so then I left. I was like, I came in, I was like, right that time, I was like, okay, so I'm going to stop at the thrift store. And so I went, and it was like the second I walked in, there was something hanging right there that was just like right there for me. I was like, hell yeah. So I took that, and my cart got really full, and I went back and I tried stuff on. I had a whole bunch of stuff. And this was kind of strange too, because so I had a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm kind of like, I'm a weird when it comes to clothes. Like, I'm really into clothes, like weirdly into clothes. And I've got a lot of coats and jackets and stuff. Like, I like to, I don't know, like if I'm going somewhere, like I don't just put on a pair of jeans. Like, I have clothes like to wear places and stuff. Like, I like to dress up and stuff. So I have a lot of different kinds of clothes. And I have lots of jackets and stuff, because you gotta have the right jacket, you gotta have the right stuff to go with your outfit. So, but my kids think I'm extreme. You got way too many boots. You got way too many coats. You got way too many purses. You got way too many of this. Way too many. It's like, yeah, but I like this. This is what I really love. And I just always have. Like, when I go back to who I was when I was a kid, and I started going out, and, you know, it was like, I love to dance and I love to get dressed up. And if they go together, it's perfect. So, I had this one coat that I had taken in there, and I had already pictured this coat. I wanted to find like this, you know, with this fur-lined thing, because I'm really into like this fur stuff. And another thing I want to say about the fur thing, because I got really shamed about that before. Not shamed, not like, but other people's attitude's very different. And so when I would go to the thrift store in Spokane, there was this one, the Goodwill bins, and it would have, I've got some cool ass shit out fucking bins, I'm telling you, some cool ass shit. It was like a fucking scavenger, not scavenger hunt, because you don't know what you're looking for. You're just looking. It's kind of like, what's the universe going to give me today? And then so I was like, you'll look, and then I'd find the coolest ass shit. But I would find these like old lady fur coats and stuff that, I don't know, like the person would die or something, and then their family would just give it to the thrift store. And I was like, man, this stuff is just going into garbage. People just don't have any respect, and these animals were killed for their beauty. And my daughter was having this party from like the, it was like flappers and stuff. And we did the whole house. Like, you wouldn't even believe. This daughter can have the most extreme birthday parties. But it's so fun. Like, if you don't have a daughter like that, like, it's really fun when you have a kid like that who just wants these elaborate big parties. Because, like, she's always making these theme parties, and it's really fun. It's so fun to get super dressed up, too. And when the whole house was done over, like, what did we do it as? It was a speakeasy. And so, why am I telling this story? I have no fucking idea. I get so lost. Okay, so we're at the speakeasy. We got our cute clothes on. We got a little photo booth thing up there. It was really fun. Let me think. And she's had some parties, you know, that I haven't got to go to. She's been over here, but quarantine definitely had an effect on all that stuff. But let me think what I was telling that about, because there was some kind of reason I was telling that. I always go off in some kind of, go off on the end of the limb, and then I'm like, what am I doing out here? I'm always going off on these little, all the time. Like, this isn't just doing this. This is how I am. Let me think. So, I gotta do this all the time too. So I got a lot of clothes. Okay, so let's just go back to the clothes. Oh yeah, because it was the fur thing. So for her party, when I was going and getting things, and I had put these furs, I had a couple of furs, and I thought, oh, these go so well with it, because I was getting stuff at the thrift store and stuff. And I thought, like, it really was cool because it went with the times. And then people are, oh my God, it's so horrible. And I just was like, it's so weird how people would think that's better to put those in the dump than to pick them up out of the dump and give them respect for the murder that was done on them. Like, my attitude is just different. It's just weird. So I just wanted to share that perspective, but I started really liking all the fur stuff. And then I think I was watching Vikings and stuff then. And then always with, like, the settlers or the Native Americans or whatever, the tribe people. It's not even fucking, it wasn't America. You can call them Native Americans. They stole it, and then they made a new name for it. The tribe people, and they would always wear furs and stuff. And so, like, through this transition and getting back in touch with, like, our history and where we come from and what are our people, humans and all that. And I don't know, the furs just went with it. And I don't think it's just me, because now I've seen other people say it too. So there's just something about it. It's something like that's more natural. It's like respect for, I don't know, there's a whole thing to it. It's your own thing, just like how you eat, how you think, how you perceive, what you look at. It's all unique to you. So so this coat at the thrift store, I had seen it, and it was just like, because I really like kind of old-fashioned clothes, like vintage looking clothes and stuff. I like a lot of dresses and stuff, and so the coat, it had this certain look that reminded me totally. I think it's even looks kind of like the picture of my mom's coat in the baptism where I got baptized, and the picture out front. But I know I saw a coat like this, there's a certain way the fabric was and stuff. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll get this coat. But I've got so many. It's like, do I really, really need it? Because it's $10. And then it's like, but it's so cute. But then, and then I started thinking, so I even, because I see people do this all the time. So they go and look at the tags, and then they go look it up on the internet to see, like, how valuable is this coat? Like, am I getting something from Kmart or, because I'm not going to pay $10 for a $20 coat, So then I tried to look it up, but the internet wouldn't work, and so I couldn't see. And so I was like, well, fuck, I'm just going to have to decide, is this fast fashion, trying to look well-made, or is this really a well-made coat? And it's like worth the $10. And it's so funny, when you're talking about $10, but when you're thrift store shopping, and $10 is like, fuck, don't want to spend $10 on that. And it used to be like, fuck, things used to be so cheap. This one still is cheap, like really, really cheap. But like that, like this coat would have fucking for sure at Goodwill probably been $25. But Goodwill is having to go down too, because they're getting boycotted so hard. So Goodwills are going down in price and doing better sales and stuff. But anyways, over here where I'm at, I guess it's all unique to wherever you are. We're all in our own little space bubbles. So and it was like a little big, and so I was like, it's not perfect, but I get clothes that are too big all the time. But I was like, well, it's not perfect, so I don't want to get it and stuff. But then I put it in the cart, and I decided, well, I'll just go ahead and take it up there. I'll take my stuff. But it was in my mind, I've got the battle going, you know. And one side is constantly telling me, you know, do good stuff for yourself. Yeah, you deserve that. Like, God, don't, you know. And then you have the part in there, the money's gone anyways. Like, you better enjoy it because it's gone. I had already seen Charlie Ward. I've seen a lot of videos. People arguing with the banks, I mean, and all sorts of articles coming out. All sorts of banks are closing. Bank of America is closing all these ones. Citibank's closing all these ones. Wells Fargo's not going to do home loans. All the good stuff. It's just it's crashing. Definitely crashing. And like, I feel real cozy on this home loan situation. Like, they don't have a leg to stand on, I don't think, at this point. Like, it's fucking crashing hard. And I saw Charlie Ward, somebody shared a video of him. I used to watch him all the time. And he said, you know, I'll tell you what's weird too, is as soon as I liked his video, I may have even followed that account. I had a whole slew of them come in. And all of a sudden start following me, start trying to message me. You know, I have fucking, there's some, I don't know. Some of these people are fucking bold, man. I'll tell you. The things that they will say to people. But I thought, this is weird. I think they definitely, certain accounts, they watch they're not just watching the presenter. They're watching the people. And then they watch who you follow and stuff. And then they'll get people to come in and follow you, I think, to interfere. Like, I've felt that for a while. When people start trying to really push me hard in a certain direction, I always, like, right away, it's like your spidey senses go up. Like, what is your, like, why? Why would you need me to do anything? And, so anyways, so the coat thing, let me think if I had finished on that part of it. Because I skip around all the time. So the coat thing is, so I decided, you know, I was going to get it. I'm having this thing go and the money thing. And they just kept telling me all day long, you know, don't stress out. The money's fucking gone. Just kick it back, girl. Don't stress. And you may as well go out there and get what you need. It's because they were doing that hard in the grocery store. Because I was like looking at those powders. And I was like, fuck, man, this one's $16.99. This one's $12.99. This one's $6. And it's like, man, I want to go through and just get all these different ones. And, but the prices, but anyways, they were doing that the whole time in my head at the grocery store too. But so at the thrift store, they were sitting there doing this. And so I put all my shirts and stuff. I think I mostly got a bunch of shirts and sweaters. And I set them up there. It is nice too to start the fucking winter with some new sweaters. I swear to God, I like sweaters, and so I wear sweaters all the time. So it's nice to get some new ones to like change it up. I got a lot of sweaters. I got a lot of coats. I got a lot of sweaters. I got a lot of boots. I got a lot of dresses. I got a lot of pants. I got a lot of, I like clothes. So you know, that's my perspective. So it's so weird when I'll go to someone else's house, even one of my daughters or whatever, and they'll have one closet with like this much space of clothes. And it's like, how do you live like this? Like, fuck. It's weird. You know, it was so funny too, because when I moved here and I had to get rid of a lot of stuff, like I've had to go down, you know, I've been having to let go for years and years and years. And ever since the brain injury, it's been a process of letting go. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, because I had a shit ton of clothes then. I had like, look, a ton of clothes. It was an extreme amount of clothes then too. And my kids were like, not like, and when I say extreme, it's going to go all different places in your head. I don't have clothes stacked up to the ceiling, piled everywhere and stuff. Well, right now I have a couple sweaters piled on the bed because I ran out of hangers. But everything has a place. It hangs up and stuff. And I know some people who like clothes because I was thought about doing this with my other bedroom, is turning it into a closet. But then when I, how if I want people to come visit, I needed a bedroom. So I put it as a bedroom, but other people put theirs as a closet, and I don't have to sleep, and I have to sleep on the couch. So I should turn it into a closet. But I don't know. I'm right now. It's just like I'm in a transition. Like I don't know where I'm headed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen with the future. It's just like you got to just not be holding on to much. So, but I'm holding on to my clothes. I'll sit there looking at them like, oh, it's my clothes. I love my clothes. And thinking, oh, how am I going to save them all? If they started to, like I told you before, when I was worried they were going to evacuate, I was like taking my favorites and putting them in a bag, having it ready. So I was like, how will I do this? But anyways, I seem a little kooky about clothes, but we all have things that we like and don't like. And so anyways, this jacket. So I go up to the front and I put all my shirts up there, and it's like two ladies are doing it, and but it's still, I don't know, it just seemed a little chaotic, and they were real chatty, and so I'm just chatting away with them, and they're putting my stuff in, and I put when the coat was still laying on the thing, it was laying on the cart. And in my head, I heard really loud, you could just walk out with that coat hanging right there. Nobody's going to notice. And I was like, no, because I've always got the thing. It's been since 3 years old. And then is when I remember it. I think it was before that, because they always pull my face back to that place when I was younger, when I took the baby aspirin, when I ate the bottle of baby aspirin. I think that they were talking to me then, but I was really little. It was like 18 months old. I remember the 3-year-old thing, and that I could confirm with my mom. But so then the other side started telling me, that's always the moral compass part. You always have the part that's trying to direct you into doing something else, but then my other part always comes in stronger. It's always. And I put the jacket up there, and and they just were carrying on. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh my gosh, you got such cute stuff. I can't even believe you got such adorable stuff. Like, and they were just looking the coat back and forth, put it in my cart. I put it in my bag and stuff. And then she goes, okay, well, that's $58 or $65 or something like that. And she goes, I can't believe it. That's so cheap. And I was like, oh man, that is. I was worried it was going to be $100. And she's like, man, I would have been a good deal at $100. And I was like, gosh, yeah, and she's like, you got such good stuff. And I was like, all feeling so like, fuck, the universe is like right here with me. Hell yeah. They just bring me what, and all the, I'll stuff $3-4 or whatever. So I leave, I go to the grocery store. It was the same thing with telling me about the stuff to get. Like you realize like how much you hold yourself back. But then there's all this whole part of like, you got to get yourself in this receiving. You got to get this in your mind about you deserve what you want. It has nothing to do. Don't think of it on those numbers and shit. Get what you need. Don't think about the other part. You focus on your needs. So focus on, so they're always, cheering me on and telling me things. And yesterday I started a subscription to matcha. So I'm going to do a comparison, because I had one that I had bought. It was like fucking $13 for 2 ounces. It was so fucking small, on Amazon. And I think I got that one twice. And then, so then when I had seen it at the grocery store, and it was a big bag, but it was a really big bag, and it was $13, but it's way, way bigger. And when I took it out to put it in, it's so much more dense and concentrated, the smell and everything. And it said it's from California, and it's green tea. I don't even remember all the stuff it was saying on there, because I read a few different things. But anyways, it seemed like it was good. But when I got the other one, because earlier in the morning I got a subscription to one, because there's one on that comes up on TikTok all the time. And so I bought something off the TikTok shop, apparently, because it comes up there all the time. And it was this matcha, and this guy said he came up with the thing. He didn't want all the fillers like how they do the coffee and stuff. And so his is just like mushroom, and he gets the best and condensed. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try it and see. And then I'm going to get this other one and try it and compare and see like what the difference is, you know. And if the one is really excellent for 28 bucks, I'll keep getting his and supporting him. You know, right. I think I'll be pretty good on the matcha for a while, but now I'm on the subscribe and save. But I can cancel it. You know, I get way too stocked up. But anyways, so I got a shit ton of matcha. Then they had this bag called Spironilla or something like that. Spironilla or something. And Spironilla, something like that. And I had seen that a bunch of times too. Like I had seen magnesium a ton of times, which I've taken like 5 magnesium pills, I think, at this point. And I feel better. I do feel better. And I don't know, you know, if it's the magnesium, if it's in my mind, if it's that we didn't get sprayed yesterday, like, I don't know. And, but I might keep taking the magnesium for sure. I've seen enough stuff where everybody keeps saying, like, we all need magnesium. It's like somehow we're shorted on the magnesium. And I think they do something in the fear in our food to block things so that we don't get the nutritional value and stuff. And they're going even more in the fake food, like fucking so many videos of people just like, what is this? Looking at their food and stuff, like, and the things coming out with the human thing. Like, I didn't even finish yesterday saying about the one that I had seen where somebody, tons of people sharing this video, and they pull out a deep fat fryer, and you can tell it's a human backs. It's quite obvious. And so anyways, there's all this stuff coming out. And, you know, I don't know what's up with the morticians. Like, I thought the realtors were bad. Like, I don't know. How many rotten people are there in this world? Oh, what in the holy hell? I'm fucking like selling all the dead people. Oh my Jesus Christ. So anyways, we got a lot of stuff to come out, you know, a lot of gross out shit. And so so I got all these different powders, and I have been looking them up, and like this ashwagandha, I think it's called ashwagandha. It's good for your mood, and I've been taking that, and matcha is really good for your mood, and so that and the chaga. So I got a couple more kinds of mushrooms, the spirulina, and that is some sort of a sea moss, like really condensed, full of. When you go and you look this stuff up, I swear to God, I felt better just after what I was reading, what I've been drinking. I was like, oh my God, I'm drinking stuff that is so good for my body. Like, there can't be like disease growing in my body. It's full of antioxidants. It's full of so many things. Like, you just have to look up and read of all the things and I'm totally into this root tea thing now too. Like, I'm in there like a fucking kitchen witch, mixing all my powders and cooking it. Now I can't do my teapot because I gotta cook them on the stove to try and melt all the powders. Or you could put them in a smoothie, which I'm sure some probably are better not heated up, which I gotta look more into. Like, there's just more and more like to look into with all this stuff. You know, like, these people who are experts, like their information is invaluable, because it's a lot. So, you just start somewhere. Like, fuck, it's expanded a lot over the last few years. My house is becoming so toxin free. Ollie toxin free. So anyway, the coat thing. So I got the coat, and I was all happy. I was all left that thrift store feeling so happy and so good because these ladies were so nice and, telling me how great it was. But I kept thinking, it had to have been more than that. I swear to God, it had to. She had to have rung something up wrong. So I thought, when I get home, I'm going to look at the receipts. I had to go get my groceries, got all my stuff, and I came in, and put all my stuff away. I have to do all my tending to the stell and, doing all my stuff. And then I sat down I think it was first I saw my phone. And I opened my phone, and where I had been trying to look up what the tag on the coat, it popped up when I got home to my Wi-Fi, and it came up with all of the for the coat. And then I saw, oh, this coat's $140. It's Steve Madden's, one of his side brands is BB Dakota or something, is his brand. So I was like, oh, so it's an expensive coat. And it never even had, nobody's hands have ever even been in the pockets. The threads hadn't even been cut in the pockets. Everything I had gotten yesterday was like all the tags were brand new. And everything was like fucking brand new. And this coat, it's like this person never even wore this coat. And they never even took the threads out of the pocket. They never put their hands in the pockets. And then I could tell on the fur that it was like it's never been worn or anything. The fur was still kind of like pressed down, like it came out of a bag or something. So I don't know, if they bought the coat. Because I swear to God, the best thrift stores to go to, if you find a rich area where the people buy nice things, and then a church thrift store where all the people who buy the nice things, who have a lot of money, give their stuff to the church. And then, I swear to God, they'll wear this shit like one time. Or they'll buy stuff and then never wear it. And so you get stuff all the time that has never been worn. It's got the tags on. And in the churches, don't, like, all of this stuff was like $3 or $4. Except for this coat. It was like $10. So then I decided, oh my gosh, Stella. Then I decided to look at the receipt. Because then I was like, fuck. And it popped up just like, because I wasn't thinking about it anymore. I already had the coat. But it was on my phone already. So it just popped up. And I was like, hell yeah. Thanks, universe. Man, that's a sweet deal. And then, so I look at my receipt. She charged me 99 cents for the coat. So she didn't put it in right. She charged me 99 cents for the coat. And then she left another $4 item off. So I did get some big discount there. And, the moral side of me, well, you could go back and give it to them. But then, they don't have a senior discount. And you do shop and buy their stuff a lot of times. And it's just like, and it's fucking drive a half hour to go back and say you messed up on the receipt. Probably get her in trouble. Like, just like, fucking forget about it. Just be like, thank you, universe. That was a sweet deal. Thanks. And so I just went into gratitude, like, fuck, man. The universe is just like doing these like little sweet gifts to me. And it just kept going all day, like, just really cool stuff. And, where I just was feeling like, fuck, I just feel like I'm in sync. I feel like, like how I was saying, like with the Ferris wheel, how it goes around and then you get up the top and then your cart flips over. And it's like in that energy movement that we're all like going and flipping over. And I feel like my cart's up at the top. Like I feel like the movement, like I'm at that part where I'm going to go and mine's going to flip over. And I don't know if all of ours are going to flip at once or if it is going to be like that, where it is like these flipping, and the momentum builds. I don't know. That's just the vision that comes into my head. So, but I was feeling like all totally in sync. Like, I don't even know how to say, just thinking about just gratitude and just being excited. Like, I don't feel scared or anything. And I know lots of people are feeling really scared and worried, and then you have other people who are just feeling all cocky, like, well, they'll see Jesus is about to be here and handle this situation. It's like, okay. Timmy's got, I don't know, have you checked with him? This is just, it's wild. It's wild out there. Maybe we got a lot of saviors coming into their realities. If there are a lot of people wanted to be saviors maybe in this reality. I don't fucking know. Maybe we're going to split off into a whole bunch of realities. Once again, maybe we need a whole bunch of saviors for every fucking town. I don't fucking know. We'll see how it goes. It's weird too when you see some of these people who think of themselves as such saviors, but they're just like, they seem so angry. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be glad when this shit just starts flipping, and so people can even see for themselves. It's like, this is so crazy. It's so crazy on so many levels. But anyways, so I got this fucking cool ass coat, $140 coat that never been worn for 99 cents. And I got a bunch of cute stuff, and everything like fit good. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I just felt like the universe was like, here's a little gift here, take this. I was like, oh God, you guys are so nice to me. And then plus they were talking the whole time, telling me. And to me, the money thing's already going down. Like Charlie said, they're already doing runs on the banks in America. He said there's already people going in demanding their money. I saw one woman in there, and her whole fight, like, she didn't know anything about the money thing. She was coming to bring some. She wanted to put some in, and they wouldn't let her come in the bank if she didn't do this. And she was all about the rights. She was all about her human rights. And that's a mandate. And they're in Tennessee. And she's like, it's not even a mandate here right now. It's not even any reason at all. And that was one thing I noticed yesterday while I was out. Nowhere. Even in the grocery store, I was thinking, was that the grocery store? I'm pretty sure. Could have been the thrift store. Because I was noticing nobody had these on. But there was somewhere, one of those two stores, a young woman too. She looked, I don't know, 35, 40. And she had one of these on, and she came up and looked at me right dead in the eye. And so I looked right at her, and she had that on, and she turned around and walked off. And I was just thinking, oh my God, these poor psychomaniac people. Like, fuck, dude. It's so crazy. But here, nobody's telling you to put, like, where I'm at. Like, I don't know in Seattle, I don't know in Bellingham, I don't know in all these other places, but people are having these run-ins. Geez, still. They're having these run-ins again. And so she's in that battle with them. And the bankers are like, no, you can't be in here. They know you can drive through. And she's like, hell no, I'm not going to drive through. I don't want to put my money in there. I want to stand right here, give my money. And if you're not going to do it, go back there and get all my money out of your safe and give it to me right now. So she's doing that, and she has $200,000 in her savings. So she's throwing that around. Go get all my money out. I got $200,000 in that account. And right there in that, she keeps thinking it's right there in that bank. Check. What? Like, people, y'all need to understand how banks work. So she's like, get me my money right out of that bank right now. And she's making a big fuss. They got security coming in. Then they got another manager coming out. I think they have 3 bank people out there now. And nobody's in the place. Just these couple of employees. Because this guy all of a sudden comes out. Because there's the window girl. Now there's this girl who's over by the door telling her to leave. Now we got this other guy. And then he starts saying, oh, we don't have that much money in the safe. And so I don't even know where it all went. She was in there arguing over that. But it was like, that money, and they don't give a fuck about any of your deposit. None of it. It is a scheme. It's just a scheme. You're just playing with paper. And so anyways, like, it's all gonna blow up in people's faces and shit. Like, she's like arguing about this. It's like, boy, you're about to have a way bigger argument than that here in a minute. So I don't know, but I've seen other people in there over like $1,500 yelling and screaming, like, where's my money? And the banks won't, because I don't know how it's all going to crash. I'm sure it's going to crash in different places in different ways. There's shit going on in the UK that I saw. I remember if it was the ATMs weren't working, or there's a bunch of banks closing there too. Like, it's all going. Like, this week I think is going to be crazy. I bet you today is going to be crazy, leading into Monday. But I bet you Monday is going to be crazy. And they made a whole big thing. They keep having these big get-togethers with the BRICS nation. And they have them all up. They're all proud, standing up. They're all gathered. United States all left out of everything. And, but just keep in mind when they keep pushing this and pushing this, the BRICS nation is all on peace treaties. So, you know, we're the problem because we are the hostages by these bad people. You know, we don't call them swamp creatures, whatever the fuck you want to call them, vampires, whatever the hell, bunch of fucking money hoarder weirdo people who, you know, they're getting busted for crimes against humanity. So, you know, it's a battle. And so the bank thing and all that stuff, whatever, if it's, oh, because it was also, there was some weird stuff in Australia. One weird thing in Australia is that they, a new one for the babies. Now they've got a new one that they're making the babies take. I don't know if they're already doing that here. I mean, I've got 2 fucking grandkids right through all this, getting them all. And, you know, it's really hard, you know, when your kids won't listen to you and stuff. And to see and to not know where anything is headed is like, I don't know, is there a sense of like keeping yourself detached to keep yourself from feeling pain? Like the whole thing is like, it's a huge maneuvering through all of this, you know. It's crazy to see so much stuff that the people around you don't see. So crazy. And God, let me think what I was seeing over there. So I saw somebody was sharing, a few people are sharing Rodriguez's. Some big creator was like, I don't like that guy. I saw her live for a second. Somebody started bringing up what he was saying. And she's like, I don't like that guy. I don't like it. I don't even know what all she was saying. But she was saying, like, some of these people, like, I don't know, what do they think they're going to do once this is over? Like, what's going to be their job? And, yeah, I've thought that before, too. It's like, all these people are just spending all their time trying to just do all this, you know, report to us about the government going down and all of the stuff. Like, all that stuff is going to happen. And, you know, I enjoy hearing, like, listening to the reports. Like I said, I know everybody has a role to play, and I know that the roles they're playing has importance to the universe. And I also know it has importance to their own learning and healing. But it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like when the stuff turns, that energy that they've been putting out, even though it's like there's a sense of positivity to it, there's also, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, like how the energy turns. But it can turn into like, well, you've distracted yourself from all your healing all this time. Now you got to go into your healing, and now you got to find yourself. Now you got to figure out, who are you and what are you going to do? And Rodriguez, he could be building up a whole, like, I mean, he could be building up a whole brand of himself. You know, I mean, he's got a lot of followers. He's got a lot of people who like him. But it's just is like when the energy changes and everybody's not focused on certain things, you know, are they going to still be like interested in what you're marketing? You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be some changes where it's going to be, the people are going to see for themselves, like, the energy they were putting out, if it was what the universe wanted to continue, or if it was, you know, going to flip the other direction. So anyways, that's, you know, and it's individual. Each person will see their own on all different levels. And but so, you know, he does have a like, there is some negativity with him, and he does always go into religion. So there is some stuff that I would think is going to blow up in his, you know, his mirror that's going to show him that side of himself. It's not like it's bad or something. It's not like he's wrong. It all depends on when you see yourself. What do you do about it? Do you hide yourself? Do you humble yourself? Do you mask yourself? Do you distract yourself? Like, you know, or do you just face yourself and just accept yourself and just be like, well, you know, I'm not perfect. do have some issues like everybody else. And we all have issues. We all have things to work on. We all have parts of ourselves that we don't like. We'll all have parts of ourselves that other people don't like. You know, there's nobody that's perfect. Nobody is, you know, and if anybody's trying to be perfect, then they've got issues. They're insecure. They've got problems. And, you know, don't think like that's a great, healthy way to live. It's like counterproductive. But anyways, Rodriguez was saying he was talking to Juan. So he's got a new interview up or something with Juan. And he said that Juan said there's going to be 3 things that are going to go down. He said, and probably one, I think he was saying that one is already going. It's already going. And it's probably what's going on over in, you know, the Strip. Fuck, dude. And it also, like what I said, it always, every fucking time, I'm telling you, I'll say something. Like, I'll see images in my head. I'll say something. And then, like, the next day or something, I'll get, and this was a whole bunch of articles from over there of them getting busted of using the strip kids for or just taking their organs, just take them while they're alive. Like, so that's why I said they don't waste. Nah, they got that whole little fucking shop over there. Nobody's been paying attention all these years. They've just been using this as a little fucking pond, a little fucking, these goddamn fucking weirdo. It just reminds me of like fishermen and how the rich fishermen, they will pay poor fishermen. They'll pay a fisherman who goes out, you know, who's gone out and found places that are good to fish in. They'll pay people to take them. I've known people who did that for their business, and they'll take these rich fishermen out. And I've gone on a sea fishing trip in Mexico, a deep sea fishing trip. So they take these people out, and that's what I feel like. It just reminds me of that, like the Strip and stuff. There's like certain areas. I fucking even think probably the Strip in America, the places where people go missing easy. It's a fishing pond. It's a place to, and they put that in Hostel 3. Like, you know, I don't think it's by accident they put Vegas in as a place where they're just fucking, you know, especially, they look at us like such slime. Like, it's the whole thing too with Gentiles. Like, so I looked at this Gorham or something, like Finkelstein. Some of these rabbis, the way they're just like, they have those thick accents, this Gorham or something, like how they call us. They don't even fucking call us humans or people or something. And he just refers to us as like this Gorham or weird. And so I looked it up, and it was like Gentiles. And I was looking at, well, what the hell is a Gentile? And I was just like, I'm telling you, there's something weird about this Jewish thing. I know all these people think all these bad people are all Luciferian and stuff like that, but I think that they're missing something. They're not seeing. There's a mystical side to understanding about energy and stuff. And they are all into rituals and stuff because, you know, all together they can really get the energy going. That's what they do with fucking stadiums and shit. They use our energy. They fucking do it with movies. I bet you in movie releases, they probably use that energy. And I saw a guy explaining yesterday exactly what I've been saying too, like about the hierarchy, about how the town and stuff, how this works. And he said just what I kept saying, what I see. And he said that it was so there's city it's like city, county, and state. And every single city, every county, and every state has a controller, a handler family, a family that's put in position the money to control, to control the media, to control the government people, to control the town. And I was seeing it all the time in these old movies over and over. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just all these pieces go together in my mind. I just see pieces going together all the time. And so I could see how it was working and how the people, so he was explaining, he went in such, I wanted to share this video. It was like, oh my gosh, this is way too informative. It would fucking get taken down for sure. But so how, you have all these different levels. Well, the ones at county level and city level and stuff, those ones aren't, like, they all still have their own rituals and all their own weird stuff, but not all of them are like that. But when you start going up into the higher levels, once you get up into the state level, those ones are more at a higher level. So there's all these different levels, and some of the people who are rich, but they control over who can become rich. They got to control the people. And I said this long fucking time ago about, like, if you all of a sudden become rich out of the blue, they want control over you. They don't want money out there moving around that they don't control. And so, and they do it all through, managements and contracts, and it's all a facade. But it's, what really is used is like the bullying is how they use to control, is just the bullying. And then, I mean, they'll go to the point of murder. Like, that's no big deal. They just want control. So that's why I said before, like, fuck, you go and become rich, like, it's fucking danger. Like, these are not the people you want to be hanging out with. And so, it's scary in this world to go and get a lot of money. And all these people all want to go get a lot of money. It's like, I don't think what comes with it. So the hierarchy thing, and how that they can keep control over who gets business licenses, what part of town grows, what part it doesn't. It's all, I mean, how the movement. What did I just see? Someplace, was it North Dakota? Colorado, I think it was Colorado, had a bridge collapse. And all the cars were stopped. And I thought, well, that is convenient, isn't it? Let's just collapse some bridges. Let's just, it's all about this containment. Like, if I was in that area, I would, but nobody's going to be thinking about it. It's got to get on your mind somehow. Start thinking about evacuation. When they block off one way, you got to start thinking about, how the hell am I going to get out of here? Because that is a part of their control and contain. And, and they're not. I mean, I just saw another video of somebody out in the forest finding another abandoned place. Like, ugh, it's creepy. But they're not above. I mean, they'll fucking wipe out a whole goddamn town and pretend like it didn't even exist. These people are wacko. And then, but we're all, the sad thing is because, if we were all just on the same kind of understanding as being souls and we're in this game, it'd be very different, but it's different than that. Most people think all this stuff is really happening and this is all they got. And they are trying and trying and trying to get ahead. They're trying to be a good person. They're trying to do this. And they just are beat down and they just don't get it. So that's the thing that always bothers me, is like people's, their ignorance is their pain. The more that you can learn, the more you can understand, the more you can open your mind, and it calms you. To me, it was like a natural draw to start reading about spiritual books as soon as I started pushing away from the church. And I wanted to know who God was. What am I doing here? What am I? I know I'm not what they're saying. And I knew I was something. I mean, I've been talking to people, like, and they had been telling me things. They had told me things, like, at the church, when they would say stuff about Adam and Eve, and they would tell me, like, that's not true. That is a made-up story. That's not what it's like at all. And they were always bringing me back to science, but I didn't understand it all on some of the stuff that they were showing me. I didn't understand what they were showing me. I do now. Now I can see it and understand the things more. But I just don't understand why other people weren't interested in that when they were young, of trying to understand what they were. It's kind of like a lot of people just were like, okay, well, I'm a Christian. That's what we are. My family's Christian. My family's Catholic. And it's just like they just were that because that's what their family was. And I don't know. I just had, maybe it was because my parents were teenage, real young and stuff. Like I could pull away or something and be like, well, I'm not like that. I'm not, And then there's always, if your parents are really young, you always mature. You mature differently. You develop and you mature in places where they didn't. So it's like you surpass your parents at some point in maturity. And so, anyways, what was I gonna say? I'm going to go back to the lawn thing. Because he was saying, so there's going to be 3 events, and that there's one that is already in motion. It's already going. And then it's kind of like they do something, so then the other ones do something back. But he said there's a third thing. And he said the third thing is going to be super, super scary. And people are going to freak out. Just this week alone, he said, is going to be super scary. Because what's going on. But just keep in mind, when they start saying all these people are going to nuke us and all this stuff, keep in mind, we're the problem. They're trying to stand up, not to trying to push down America, because America's a bunch of fucking superficial weirdos. But it is because they're trying to push the reveal. They're trying to push the bad people to. It's like they're pushing the zit. They're trying to get the pus to come out. So that's what they're pushing. They're not really trying to push us. They're trying to push the people, the badness, to have to reveal itself. And that's what's happening. It's just as people are focused on all different things because they're in this panic state. But that's going to be the big, hit into the wall kind of situation that wakes people up. So we need this big buildup. We need this, this drama, this traumatic situation. So whatever, and we got this bank thing, because it's all, these people are the banker people. These are the people who own the banks and shit. So and all their stuff is going down, but there's still bad people that have to come out, that they've got to get them all out. And plus, the biggest part of it is the show. It's showing the people, so you see who the bad guys are, so you understand this corrupt world you're living in. And but there is really people who are leaving, but just keep in mind that they are playing the part. That's their part, and it's to create the drama in the story. So there's going to be a lot of, more death and horrible situations going on. And keep in mind, too, as you see these horrible situations going on, that these are people completing cycles in their own life cycles. Confirmation. And that everything is fine. And it's for the drama factor, and it's for the people who are closest to their orbit, for the effect. Because loss and trauma brings up growth and change. So the people who are the closest to them who are going to be affected by the things that go on. But, as long as we're all looking and watching, we're as affected as we want to be. Because you got to know for yourself when to look away and when to just hold on. Like, what do you need to see? Like, we all, as we drive past the accident, we all look at different things for a different period of time. It's what do you need to see to process? So so when this situation, a lot of the stuff is like where these people who are just super focused on it and keep arguing and talking about it, that part is like a show, like what they're arguing about and stuff, like who's going to be the Speaker of the House and what are we going to do, and oh my gosh, and all these secret tapes coming out of these fucking senators and congressmen showing their true colors, more and more of that. They've all, this is when the NRA, or is it the NSA, I think, the National Security, whatever, the NSA, I think, is the ones who are started the whole thing with the generals to go against the criminal people. But when they were trying to, like what Snowden had said, when they were trying to listen to everything that we were saying, well, that opened up, so their stuff all got listened to, and they tried to come up with other ways to not get heard. Like one of the things that got busted on is they were going into where guys go play video games, and it's like an open communication, and it's not kept or something. But anyways, they found them. They found them, and they're communicating in their codes and stuff. So they got busted on that. All their different things they tried, they always get busted because the NSA was watching them and figuring it out. And so they got all these recordings. They've got all of them on tape. That is why when Charlie Freak was talking about when Trump was on that tour in the beginning, and they were making fun of him so hard on the media, saying what a big old doofus he was, and he was doing all that. No, that was all of this capitulating that was going on. And he was taking in these big files. He went in and he met with the whole, I think the WHO, or could have been the WE, one of these big old groups. He went in and met with all these rich fuckers. And I think he was late to the meeting too. And then he laid all of them down a big file, and he told them that they had everything, that this is their only opportunity. And he gave them all a file on themselves of all of their crimes, because they have everything. There's nothing these people, like, there's no getting away. Everything was already got. All of their shit is gotten already. And so, like, there's people who keep thinking, like, they're not going to, like, keep arguing about Hunter. No, this is a show. This is to get attention. This is to bring outrage. This is to get people to talk about it, to be mad, to start paying attention, to start setting your moral compass, what's right and what's wrong, and start thinking for yourself and pull yourself into your awareness. So they, all of the stuff that they keep freaking out about is going to play out. Like, these people are going to go down. Like, fucking hell, there is going to be so many people. What was it yesterday too? I saw something, and somebody was talking about some certain group of people who work in a certain thing, and all of the corruption involved in that. It's just, people are faced with moral dilemmas all the time. Just like with the coat, when I was at the thrift store, when it was like, well, you could just leave that coat sitting there. Nobody's going to notice. It's just sitting right there. Looks like you just brought your coat in. It's just sitting by your purse. And they sure the hell aren't paying attention. And, you always have those. And, I could have done it. I could have taken it. And then it would have eaten at me. See, that's the thing. That's the part that people don't get, is that your soul will eat at you. It will fucking, like, what are you, some kind of thief or something? Like, and then, why aren't you trusting the universe? Like, even when I sat there and had it, the moral dilemma, and then I put the code up there, the universe repaid me by giving it, 99 cents. It's like the universe, like what I keep saying, when you're manifesting and stuff, go and ask the universe to give you money. It's like you're just asking for a middleman, just like these fucking people. I'm going to pray to Jesus. No, I'm going to pray to Mary to get to Jesus. I'm going to pray to Mary to get to God. I'm going to pray to Jesus to get to God. I'm going to pray. Like, it's just all this third-party nonsense. And all of these people who think of these Gentiles, it's like they came up with a religion to control the people. And they wrote it, they came up with a book, they based it on other stories, and I don't even know all of the stuff. Like, the people, like, the people who people think are in charge, it's the people behind them that are the ones that are really in charge. Those are why we had to see, like, these Schwabs and Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Soros, all, like, even the Buffett and all these different people that have these huge amounts of money, seeing, you know, where is their moral compass? What have they been doing in the world for real, for real? So we'll see, you know, but there's going to be like, fuck, there's going to be a lot of people, like in their families and stuff. I still think there's going to be people who are going to be real surprised over people who are going to go on trial in their families. I bet you there's even going to be more cops. It wouldn't even fucking surprise me if they put every cop, every single one of them on trial. I mean, there's going to be a lot. So Rodriguez was saying that, Juan was saying that so that we're going to be in these events. So we're in this one right now, and it's going to lead to this other one. So that's where it's going to be like dangerous. And they have got it set up. Like, they just fucking killed the bluish leader, very young woman out in front of her house. And so she, that's going to be, you know, they'll use that as a thing, you know, because what they want to do is just create so much more anger and tension and stuff. Because then they can go in and they can, you know, take out huge crowds and blame it on other people. So they got to build the tension. So they're obviously building it. And I think there's fighting in some of these different ones. I saw one guy who, he went out and screaming, like he was the one videotaping. He was screaming at the people because he's wanting peace on earth, and they're out there. And then they were getting mad at him. Like, I don't know if he got jumped or what happened, but like, fuck, that is dangerous. Like, if you want to have peace on earth, stay home. Don't go out and be confrontational. These people have to purge this out of them. This is their soul stuff. They gotta complete this. And even that guy, like, that's part of his thing, and I don't know his. But, you know, for you, in your awareness, as you are becoming more efficient, more, you know, of a participant in your endeavor, your angle, and how your approach, when you're thinking, you know, think things through. Don't just, like, that's reactive. That's just jumping. Like, I felt an emotion, I'm jumping in. It's like you got to learn to control those impulses and think things through. And then on a spiritual level, like when you get into a spiritual level, go deeper into the spirituality part of it, as in you understand, like, these people have a soul purpose. They're doing their thing. There's nothing that's going wrong. Everybody is doing they're in their lesson. They're completing things. They're doing their cycles. So, you know, you got to sit back and allow the universe to play the story out, to do its thing. And then, but there's going to be the huge thing. Like I keep saying, there's a big thing that's going to happen. And David said he thinks he knows what it is. And he started laughing. And he said, it's going to be super scary. People are going to be really scared. But just remember, it's all a show. It's all a show. It's all a show. So, and that's what I keep saying too. Even if they come and they say, you know, we've got bombs on the way, they've nuked us, then just remember, it's a show. It's all a show. And they can still hit us with some frequency. You could still get hit with something. You could still have things fall. They could make it a real thing where you really think, no, this really happened. No, we're fucked. Just keep in mind, it's all a part of this. It's all a part of the show. It's all a part of the awakening. It's to fucking slap people awake. And you can see, like, everybody at this point who's listening to anyone like me should be able to clearly see that the people are not going to wake up until this goes down. This has to happen. It's a part of their plan. It's a part of their awakening, because it's going to be so impactful. And so David said all of 2024, he said everything's going to be done before 2025. The money is going to be crashed. There's all the things I keep saying are saying before the end of the month. By November, we're on the new money thing. And so all that's going down. And then and the government's all crashed. All this shit is coming out now. Like gross ass shit. Just like what I'm saying. That was where it was. It was the mortician thing. Where I was like, oh my God. There's people who probably think, oh yeah, my husband's just a mortician. Just, good job or whatever. And don't know the fucking black market thing going on out in there. Look. Goddamn McDonald's and fucking like these people. But it's the other people. It's like the Finkelstein. Like he says it. We have the meat factories. We put it down. We eat the people. It's like, fuck, dude. And we do it without you knowing what's happening. You stupid. Like, I can't do all his accent. Like, if I could hear him, I probably could. But I feel like I'm doing a bunch of different accents. He's got a thick-ass accent. But he thinks, we're so stupid. They feed us back our dead people, and they grind them up in the sausages and the meat and sell it to the burger places. And so, it's all coming out. It's all coming up. And there will be a lot of people who eat a lot of burgers. I think they're not going to feel so good. But so 2024 is going to be the trauma year. It's going to be just trauma. But, we're going to have trials, and people are going to be falling apart. It's going to be our year of the dark night. There's going to be a lot of dark night. And this winter is supposed to be like fucking hellacious, is what I'm hearing. Look, I don't know. Fuck. Another goddamn winter. Fuck, I gotta get some wood, but I can't get the wood until I go get the cash. Can't get the cash until I get my new card. But hopefully next weekend, I'm just getting another fucking big old thing of wood and just buckle up and get ready. But I'm changing my eating thing again. Like, I'm still, the eating thing, if I cook something, it's just like, eat a few bites of it, it's just like, oh, man. And I don't know if I don't know, there's something changing in me. And it has been the whole time. It's been a constant movement. But where I'm at right now, with the powders and stuff, is kind of like, I'm just going to keep drinking the teas. Like, I'm kind of moving on to being more of live off liquids, but not purely 100%. Like the oven, I can't make cookies right now, and I can't make bread, so I went and bought a bread maker. I ordered it off Amazon, so I ordered a bread maker, so I will be making bread. I've got all my beans, all my rice, and so I have a shit ton of beans and rice. I got a whole bunch of smoke liquid to put in the beans, and that adds a lot of flavor. So I've got all the stuff that I have to survive, to eat, and be fine. Like, I'm not worried about any of that kind of stuff. And now I got a bread maker, and so I don't even need my oven. I don't have to make cookies all winter. But the bread thing, and I can make like cinnamon bread or something. So I got the bread thing, but I'm just going to do like these, just really stick with these root teas and maybe some smoothies. But even, I don't know about those smoothies. Oh yeah, because another one of the powders I got was coconut milk powder. And my whole thing, confirmation, with tea, because I started drinking English tea when I was young. I drank it my whole life, like creamy sweet tea. And so and it was good. I love that tea, man. And then when they had the Coffee Mate sweet creamer, I was like, fucking heaven, man. I love that. I bet I've gone through the fucking sweet and low era for the tea. All these bad chemicals, all these toxins that I have endured that probably are still inside of me and rear their ugly head when they get inflamed. But but I've switched so much now to this other. And one good thing too about the tea is because tea darkens your teeth and all these mushrooms and roots don't. And tea darkens them from the inside, like coffee stains it on the outside, but tea changes. I had it explained to me a long time ago. It's from the inside. It changes so the color starts coming out through your teeth. And that's why lots of like little Asian people and stuff, or I'm not going to say Asian, Oriental people, a lot of people who drink a lot of tea. And they're little old people and they got really dark teeth. So it was always like, dang, I don't want to have the dark teeth. But now I don't have to have those dark teeth because of, now I'm switching over to the roots. And I can't even tell you all the different ones. Like I bet you I have 12 or something in my tea that I made this morning. And it's all so much healthier. And it's so much better for you. And so to me, it's like I get all of this health and nutrition, all of these, even taking the magnesium and stuff, getting these minerals and stuff, what your body needs. So it doesn't really need to have the other food. Like I have stuff if I got hungry to eat, like I could make some bread, I could make some beans. And I bought some bread because I couldn't make any. So I bought some. So I've eaten some toast and grilled cheese. It's like, what more do you need? Some cinnamon toast, some grilled cheese. But I have stuff for in case. But, you know, I saw another fucking video of, what was this one? Was it another, it was another worm one. It must have been another fish one with worms. Yeah, I saw another one where a woman had she bought a bunch of steaks or something, and they were just like coming apart. They weren't, it was not real. None of this fucking food is real. So then it's like, fuck, so I'm eating toxins and this plastic food. Anyways, it's not real. And how could it be real? Because we're not real. So then that's where I've got to constantly keep going in my mind too. It's like, of course it's not real. We're not real. Oh, but I've been eating like chips, cookies, ice cream, like eating just total junk. And to me, it's like, well, I'm just gonna fucking enjoy this junky shit because everything we eat is full of poison and shit. So I'm drinking all these toxins and stuff, and then if I get hungry, if I want to eat, some chips or something, then I'm just gonna enjoy what it is I want to eat. I'm not gonna sit here and be hard on myself. Like that's the place I'm at right now. Like it's in constant flow. So, next week I could be completely saying something different. Right now, though, I feel like I'm just going to focus on drinking these teas and, like kombucha and all this stuff to try and really focus on what my body needs, give it what it needs, and then enjoy, because I'm not eating that much of really anything to, so, but there's just the whole thing is just so much, trying to figure out the food, and it's a huge thing. And I've been transitioning through this the whole time because I started as soon as 2020 started, and I started seeing. And once you see, you can't unsee. I saw somebody the other day say, you can go back to sleep. What? You cannot go back to sleep. Once you see, you can't quit seeing, even when you try not to see. It's like one of those pictures where they show you, more than one picture in the thing. As soon as you see the picture, you can't unsee it. You can't stop seeing it. You see it now forever. So whatever I started seeing, when I started realizing that the media was lying and to that degree, and that we were being so heavily influenced for division, where they could divide my own family, I was just like, it was very like, boing, wah. So I started reevaluating a lot of stuff. And when people, start talking about food shortages and shit, You know, I was different than my neighbor. I didn't start thinking like how to, you know, starve out everybody else and make sure I could eat. I started thinking like, well, do we really need to eat? Like, how much do we need to eat? Like, this was a personal thing. This is my own personal thing I was doing. I wasn't, and I started reevaluating. I started really thinking a lot about the depression. I started thinking, I was watching old movies too. And then I would see the different attitude. Like, fucking people would be poor. They hadn't eaten in 2 days and they'd get a sandwich. Somebody else would walk up and they hadn't eaten and they would share their sandwich. It was, you know, very, very different attitude than how people are. Like, you know, we are so divided and people are so depressed. People are so lonely. People are so down. But we've created this. We've created this division. We've created this hatefulness. We've created this fear. We've put up all these guards and walls against each other. We've put too much of our own emotional health into other people's hands instead of taking care of our own self. You know, it's just, the whole thing has just been very dysfunctional. It's like, you know, and nobody needs to feel bad about it. It's like, how can you be raised in an abusive home and then feel like you did something wrong? It's like we were all raised in an abusive home. This world has been an abusive home and they raised us wrong. But now, you know, we grew up and now we can look out and see like, oh, it was their problem. There was nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly fine. I can get my shit together. Like, they fucking fucked with me, but that's it. And I'm not letting them fuck with me anymore. I'm not letting them, you know, I'm going to get my shit together. And I was, you know, I just noticed like we don't need to eat as much as we think we need to eat. And that got me thinking about lack mindset and about, you know, if you're eating and you don't get in lack mindset and you feel good about yourself, is a very different, because you see a lot of these, like, I'm talking real spiritual people, not this group of people who just woke up and think that they are. I'm talking about, like, there's fucking people out there who've been living a spiritual path for a long ass time. And like those brethren people, there's a lot of spiritual people out there who don't consume, definitely don't consume meat. I mean, there's ones that don't consume a lot of different things, which to me is also about putting restrictions on yourself, which I don't like the putting restrictions on yourself, because all of God's stuff, why would I judge any of it? It's, you know, it is there for everybody. It's not for me to judge. And so I've got to live my truth and what I want to do, but I'm not going to shame anybody else over what they want to do. So, you know, everybody can eat however they want. But I can tell how I was transitioning and the things that were coming into my mind and stuff. And when I was reading about, reading about the, like, brethren or whatever, those people that live off of, like, mana or prana. Is it mana? Prana. Like the energy that's just out there, that I think it's called prana. And so they just live off of that energy, off the sun and breath work and stuff. So they figured out other ways to energize themselves. And they're skinny, but they look like they're in shape. And it's very different than if you look at somebody from the Holocaust who was starved out, and probably a lot of other things, probably a lot of toxins and tests and stuff making them sicker and sicker. But that starvation of you withering away, because it was all of lack. So it's how you see things. Because remember, we're not even real. We're an illusion. So it's like your mind. It's what your mind needs to work out. So if you focus on gratitude and you have everything you need, like, you fucking live off tea. You can live off of, especially when it's full of a fucking bunch of roots and all this healthy shit that's in it. Leaves crunched up, roots crunched up. It's all of this nutritional part of these plants, and then they're condensed into a powder. And some of the powders are so condensed, they're like silt or something. Even when they get on your fingers, it's just like you have to really wash them to get them off. Chaga and the spirulina, like, man, that's crazy with those two. But let me think. Because what else was I gonna say? So the food thing. So To me, I'm changing on the stuff again. Like I'm just pulling more and more away from their just the whole concept of the how we need to eat, what we need to eat. To me, it is much more like, well, if I want to eat, like if I want to go and sit with people and sit and have a meal and enjoy a meal, then I'm going to do that. And but I'm not going to feel like I have to do that to survive, because I don't have to do that to survive. It's kind of like, it's like coming into these rational realizations as you go through this process of awakening and seeing like, fuck, I don't have to do this. I don't. So, but I'm gonna do the teas and stuff. And if I feel like eating cookies, like I got a bunch of ice cream and shit, so I want to eat that, then I'm gonna eat that. I'm not gonna feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not gonna feel like, well, I better eat this. It's been 3 days. I better do this. It's been, a week. No, go with how you feel, not with how you've been trained to think, not with how you've been programmed. Think about how you feel. And throughout this, while I've been doing this, I've gone through all different things. I've gone through parts where I was just like starving, where I feel like I just need to eat and eat and eat and eat. And I've gone through other times where I just want nothing to eat. There's no, food just like grosses me out. Like but it's all like a process. It's like you're going through your steps. There's all these different steps. And to me, there's so much, like, I don't know how people do it. Because to me, it's just this constant communication. It's constantly, and I don't know if it is like, it's the higher mind. And it just was so obvious to me when I was younger. And so I always go there. I don't go into the other part, like where I think a lot of people are. I can, when you can hear them, it's just as like easy to, so I don't know. It's very weird. It's very confusing. I know I say that stuff a lot, but I know I'm not the only other one, because I've seen other people saying like it's tripping them out, realizing that they're different and they think different. It is like you start trying to understand, like, well, how do I think different? Like, what does other people think? What are they doing? How do they do it? Like, why do they think this? Why do they feel this? Why don't they see this? Why don't, it's just like, it's crazy. I heard this interview the other day, and the person was, talking, the two people were talking, and I could really hear where the one person really had some stuff they wanted to say, but they couldn't really say. And the other person, though, didn't really get, like, they weren't biting. Like, they didn't really get where they were coming from. And I was thinking, it's so crazy, because I think there's so many people don't realize. Like, I really think there must be a law of assumption. Like, I don't know all the laws. Like, I understand how the universe works inside of me, but I don't understand all the, and I don't know if the law of assumption is one. But it really is so obvious to me. Is like, because you hear people talking, like, think about, like, I can't be the only person who's noticed this, where you're sitting there, you're watching this conversation, you're listening to these two people talking, and they're talking on totally different wavelengths. They don't even talking about the same damn thing. They're talking about two different things, and they don't even realize it. It's like, it's like a clumsy kind of trying to make this conversation roll, but it's not even on the same wavelength. And I was thinking, and I think so many people, if we're talking of the law of assumption, if it's a thing, is that the people just assume that what they think is the right thing. They think that the conversation is what they think it is. It's like, well, if you're an observer and you're sitting back and watching, this conversation is weird. It's like one of you guys is talking about TAIL and one of you is talking about TALE. It's like that. It's like it's that off. But the people, it's like people don't notice that. I've seen this so often. But yesterday in the interview, I was noticing that again. But I also was noticing that this other person would say things that were way, way deeper. And the other person just kept catching it up in the shallow. Like they weren't catching what this person was putting down at all. And it was trippy. It was like so much like, we're totally all on our own wavelengths. You know, when we do have other people who are on our wavelengths, we have other people who get us, you know, and I think that that is kind of a cool thing too, you know, because when you go through your whole life and, you know, you're, you know, especially for me, like going through relationship junkie, you know, a lot of fixes, you know, I can fix myself in these relationships or something. If this person would, you know, make it work with me or like me or whatever my issue was, I don't fucking know. I had a lot of issues back then. But then when you go through and you're doing all your healing and you're working on yourself and you're growing, and then all of a sudden you start realizing like, oh my gosh, I am somebody's like perfect fit. I'm somebody's match. I'm somebody, you know what I mean? You know, because a lot, you know, you wouldn't want to have your match when you're in your broken state, because that's what you're getting. You're always getting your match when you're in your broken state. But it's like, oh, but that's not where I want to land. But then as you heal and you get better and better and you grow, then when you get to a healed state, then, you know, your match is very different. But it was like, that's so crazy because, you know, we're all somebody's dream come true. We just don't realize it because we are not in our healthy state. We're not in our deluxe development. You know, we're back in our broken area, our broken era. So it is, but when you start working on yourself, because like I said, I mean, your broken self, like, how would you want that to be somebody's dream come true? But your best self, you are somebody's dream come true. That's, you know, when you find your best self in this journey, then, you know, you're somebody's dream come true. Like, wrap your head around that. Like, you're literally somebody's dream come true. I just think that's beautiful. You know, and we all have that. We all have somebody out there who is our dream come true. And so, anyways, you know, I feel like our dreams are coming true right now. Our dreams are moving us. I mean, some people are stuck in a nightmare. So some people's dreams are going to be hellacious. But, you know, it's to pull them out of that reality, out of that existence. So anyways, but this is going to be a lot of trauma. Just keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of trauma, a lot of hard stuff. And you are the one who has to mind your manner. You're the one who has to, you know, decipher your emotional state, to mind, you know, what you're paying attention to, what you're looking at. Does it have to do with you? Doesn't it, you know, is it going to affect you? How's it affecting you? You know, where you're trying to interject yourself so that you can distract yourself from your own problems. So really, you know, get a handle on yourself, get a grip on your own mind, your own psyche. You know, don't let it be all out of control. And don't, as soon as you let your fears start to, you know, churning and churning, as soon as you start looking at something and they start, oh, well, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and you start feeling like, oh my God, just turn away from it. You don't have to put yourself through that. You only need to worry about it as if it does happen. Them trying to constantly scare you with what's gonna happen. It's like, you know, they just want to keep you in fear. What you need to do is know, like, yeah, shit's gonna go down. Some scary shit's gonna happen. You know, I gotta be ready. I gotta be prepared. You know, and as long as I'm ready and prepared and I'm aware that this is gonna go down, then I just gotta ride out the storm. It's going to be the people who aren't ready, who aren't prepared. It's going to impact them in a very severe way. So don't get yourself all caught up in fear. And you can even, you know, I mean, like, I can stress the fuck out of myself over my kids and stuff. Like, oh my God, none of them, nobody sees what's coming. Nobody. Like, even when my mom, talking through all this shit, I mean, once it became like the fucking rapture, it's just like everything turned off. I'm like, you know, and I'm just focused on stuff that doesn't really matter. You know, I hope this money thing happens. Well, I hope Joe gets. It's like, Mom, Joe was fucking gone a long time ago. There was something really funny I said on that, and she was just like, explanation points, because you know, she wanted this new Joe dead, and I said something. It was funny. Anyways, just keep in mind, you know, don't get caught up in the fear, because that's what they want. They want you to be scared. They want you to feel like they've got all the power and they've got all the control. But no, you're more powerful and you've got more control. So get up in your own business, and feel your own power, and work on yourself. Don't get scared and intimidated by them. And then, but like I've been saying, we're going to go through this huge healing thing. But then he was saying in 25, and you got to remember, these are all just guesses, but Juan does have more access to information off the looking glass. That's why. But Juan always goes off into religion. And I don't get, David too. And David, what turned me off of David was when he started talking smack on spiritual people. I was like, no, dude. And then, he just goes off on religion. And to me, all these people just go off on religion while this shit's going on that weren't religious at all, weren't fucking spiritual at all, but definitely weren't religion. And then all of a sudden, all this shit goes down, and all of a sudden, they just turn to religion out of fear, like, well, I don't want to go to hell. It's like, it's not what it's all about, man. So, anyways, but a lot of people there's a lot still to be revealed. Believe you me, there's a lot still to come. This party's just getting started. It's like, it's like a wild New Year's party, but it's just getting started. It's gonna be like, we're gonna go through all of the, we're gonna have people fucking puking in the toilet. We're gonna have people crying on the floor. We're gonna have people passed out. Like, it's gonna be crazy. People doing crazy ass shit. So, we're in for this is gonna be wild towards the end of the year. Just, I just know whatever's going to go down, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be very in every different place. Just stay calm, and just keep working on yourself. That's the biggest thing. That is what's going to hit so hard. That's the whole thing, is leading up to this giant impactful moment to lead everybody to go into this big dark night, so that everybody is forced to start healing, to prepare for this. The people who are moving forward, you can't move forward in the condition that you're at, in a 3D, torn down, beat down, trauma, just can't function, sad, scared. That personality, that part of you you have to let go of those parts of you. However you got to do it, those are the things you got to let go of. You got to let go of all of those toxic parts of yourself to move you into this other stage of development. So that's what it's all about. Everything that's going on is what it's all about. So anyways, Stella's getting very, let me think if there was anything else. Probably was a bunch of stuff. Yesterday I kept on thinking, man, I should go talk about that. And I don't remember what it was. Just keep in mind, it was just going to be nonstop, just craziness. And it's all the craziness is to wake people up. It's all this purge of this energy, this releasing this toxic, dark energy out of our existence, out of our reality. We're releasing all of this darkness so that we can focus on the light. So just do that for your own self. Just keep focusing on your own healing. And, and all of these things that are going on, they're kind of like tests. When, to train yourself to when to look away, to notice in your own body, your own barometer, how it's affecting you, to think about how it's affecting you, to be aware, to have compassion and empathy, but then to also know where to focus your energy, where to see what to look at, what to handle, what to take care of. Because there's people who have got themselves so interjected in other people's problems. It's like, and they're ready to fucking fight people or taking people on here over shit that's going on so far away from you that has nothing to do with you. To show you're a good person. It's like, the SJW, TDS, like all these things have to purge out of people. Everything is coming back to you. You come into yourself, pull into you, everything you look at and see. constantly pull into you. Not, oh, wonder what my mom thinks about this. Wonder what my dad thinks about this. Wonder what my brother thinks about this. Wonder what my sister thinks about this. Go around and find out so that you can think about what you think about things. Find it inside of you, where you sit about things, because this is all about independence of your thought, of your emotions, about how you feel, you feeling strong about you being able to be strong in who you are. So anyways, yeah, that's my take on the situation. That's what I do, and it seems like it's going good. It seems like it's going well for me. So I'm going to keep on saying what's working for me. Other people can do it too. And, I feel peace. I don't feel stressed. I feel sad. But then I also know that this is, like, it's already written. This has to go. There's nothing I can do. I can't stop this. And I know that it's not as sad and scary as what we kind of make it out to be. This is souls going in and out of games. This is a lot of stuff and a whole other levels that people aren't even paying any attention to because they're so focused on this. So anyways, step back, stand back, pull yourself back, keep pulling yourself back. Don't interject yourself so tight into all the trauma. Otherwise, you just become a basket case. And, how are you going to... But anyways, it's all about you, learning about you. So you do you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.